Hi, I'm Elaine. Welcome to my channel. You're probably not going to be able to hear me because I'm shooting this outdoors, so I'm probably going to be dubbing this after the video is done. The reason I'm shooting this today is because I wanted to show how I cut up my large 22 by 30 inch Arches watercolor paper. Now there's lots of different brands. Arches is the one that I happen to like. There are other brands that other people prefer. That's fine. The standard size for these large sheets are 22 by 30. So what I'm doing today, can apply basically to any brand. What I did as soon as I placed the order, I went on to Adobe Illustrator and I created some templates. And I don't know if this is going to show up on screen because it might be too bright. But if not, I'm going to have a link in the description where you can actually get these templates yourself and print them up. This configuration, what I did, let me back up here. What I did was create some layouts where I chose the most standard sizes for papers, which would fit in frames best. And I tried to figure out configurations that would leave as little waste as possible. The one that I'm choosing to go with today is going to yield me 4 9x12s, 2 6x9s, and 4 4x6s, which is great. That gives me a variety of sizes that I can play with. Another configuration I've used has been one that gives me 8 7.5 by 11.5, or 7.5 by 11, I forget, or 5.5 by 7, yes, 5.5 by 7.5 sheets of paper, which if you use them straight like that, you could tape them down. It gives you a 1/4 inch margin all along the sides for taping down or for a mat. However, I actually turned them into paper signatures, which I'm going to sew up and create my own little sketchbook. I also wanted to mention about cost. Now, it would be great if we as artists all had the money to buy all the wonderful amenities that there are out there today. But unfortunately, that's just not the case, which is what prompted me into buying the large sheets of watercolor paper instead of the smaller sketchbooks or travel books or journals of quality paper, because they were just out of my price range. These large sheets were inexpensive, and you could see what you'll see what it can yield me in the end, which is what suits me. Everybody has different needs, and I understand that, but I'm sure saving a couple of dollars here and there will add up at the end of the year, and that's money that could be put to better use. So that being said, this cutting mat is large. It's a 24 by I forget what this is. It's a 36 by 24. All right, this is a great size mat. Not everybody can get this. I just ordered this a couple days ago. It was on sale, so I jumped at it because it's a long-term investment. This is a good investment to have. So is a large metal ruler. If you plan on doing a lot of cutting, these are staples that you're going to need. If you have to choose between one or the other, go for the ruler, because if you can't afford both and you have to replace one, instead of the cutting mat, when you do order these large size sheets, they come flat, at least from where I bought it. And if you can't use that, the sheets come sandwiched between 2 large pieces of cardboard like this. I know this one's a little warped because I just had it standing around, but in a pinch, you can cut on this. You're not going to be able to cut on this over and over and over again, but if you only need to cut once or twice in one session, this is going to do well for you, and you're going to get 2 of these. So don't feel like you have to run out and buy the best of everything all at once. You don't. Spend your money wisely. Spend it where it's going to be your best investment, and eventually when you have it, you can get all the extras that will make your life easier. Okay, so moving on, the first thing I'm going to do is start marking off my lines based on my template. I'm going to start marking off all the way across. Let me see, 12 inches, 24 inches. Those are my first 2 cuts, and I'm going to do them down here as well. I just need to line them up. Is it going to be perfect? No. Is it ever perfect? No. We're human beings. Human beings are flawed creatures. We make mistakes, and it's perfectly okay. Okay, so that's my first line. Now the next one is I'm going to measure 9 inches down. 9 inches, and then the next 9 inches makes it 18 inches down here. Same thing on this side. Now it should be noted that after you're done cutting this, you're going to have some papers that have a frayed or deckled edge. These papers come already deckled, and they're wonderful. I love the natural deckled edge, but since I plan on matting these, it doesn't matter to me, so I'm going with a straight cut. If it matters to you, there are tools that you can purchase that will roughen up your edges for you, or you can tear them, hand tear them, and make your own deckled edges. Now I apologize, you're not going to be able to see my entire board here. That's just because of how my camera is set up. Okay, this is already 4 by 6, so now all I have to do is measure across here. This is exactly 12 inches from side to side, so I'll mark off 6 inches. 6 inches, and the same thing here, which I don't think is being captured on screen. I do like to do 2 markings so that I can line up my ruler better. I'll do a marking close to the top and a marking close to the bottom, and that lets me line up my ruler. So now I have my cutting template. It's all marked off. All I have to do now is pick up my X-Acto and start cutting. Now for experienced artists out there that have used a blade many times and cut themselves 100,000 times, I'm sure, I don't have to say this, but for those of you just starting off, please use care when using an X-Acto blade. They are very sharp and can slip very easily and cause you a lot of pain and damage to your fingers. That all being said, you're all adults, and I leave it to you to use your best judgment. And even if you're not adults, please have an adult do this for you. Again, unless you've been trained properly, you can really get hurt. And nobody wants to see anybody hurt. Okay. Only a few more cuts and we're done. I plan a series of 4 paintings around the same theme. So that's why I chose this configuration, because it gave me 4 even size cuts, which is the 9x12s, which is a good size. I'm not going to cut up my hot press today. I'm going to wait and decide what projects I want to do after this, and then I'll determine which cuts I'm going to go for. Again, these are not perfect cuts. They're not going to be 100% even. They're going to be a little off. That's okay. We as artists have got to embrace our mistakes. It's part of who we are. It's part of our process. It makes us human. And there's nothing wrong with mistakes. Some of my best works came out of happy accidents, as they're called. And I'm okay with that. I find beauty in imperfections. After all, if I want perfect, I'll have a machine do it. Alright, so that's it. So from this one 22-inch by 30-inch sheet of watercolor paper, I just got 1, 2, 3, 4 9x12s. Two 6x9s, and 5 4x6s. And how cute are these? For little postcards to send off come the holidays. You can start now and start making holiday cards to send off to family and friends, or co-workers or whatever, or start a series of your own cards. You know, how many times have we sat around and, you know, our neighbor isn't feeling well, or somebody at work, and you want to get a get well card, you don't have one at home on hand, you go in and you know you're going to see them soon. How great it would be to have your own little set sitting around just waiting for its little forever home to come along. So there you have it. And don't be afraid to experiment, try different sizes, whatever size works for you. Again, down in the description, I'll put a link so that you can download these templates. You can also find it on my Facebook page, and I don't remember if I put it on my Instagram, but whatever. You can follow my work on Instagram and on Facebook and here. So if you're a first-time viewer, welcome. If you're back, or if you're returning from a previous view, welcome back. Thanks again so much. Remember, art is life. Enjoy the ride.